Hello, welcome to this playthrough of the first 15 minutes or so of Sam & Max Beyond Time and Space Remastered. I'm Jake Rodkin from Skunkape Games. I'm one of the many people who worked on this remaster, and I'm joined by a few others who are going to introduce themselves now.
Hi, it's Dan Connors from Skunkape Games.
Hey, I'm Jon Sgro.
I'm Randy Tudor.
Hey guys, so a bunch of us worked at Telltale Games back in the day. Weird that you can say back in the day about Telltale now, but you can. Many or most of us from the actual start of the studio. We all worked on Telltale's Sam & Max adventure games, all 3 seasons, which ran from 2006 to around 2011. And over the last couple of years, we've actually been going back and remastering our old games. We put out Sam & Max Season 1, also known as Sam & Max Save the World, last year, and we've just finished the second season, which is Sam & Max Beyond Time and Space. It's coming out December 8th on Xbox, PC, and Switch. So we're going to just jump in and play a little bit of the first episode. I'm actually going to just restart. I'm sorry to my previous progress, but you will be destroyed. So like the Season 1 remaster, we did end up basically relighting the entire game from scratch. The original releases used a sort of pre-baked lighting solution that is not only doesn't look great anymore, but is in fact totally unsupported. So we had to do it anyway. We had to relight the entire game. But we took that opportunity across all of these to make it look nicer. I don't even know how to talk about that.
Yeah, it's a big difference between the old lighting system and the new one that we lit this game with.
Yeah, it's these remasters. We've actually had people ask, did you change engines or anything like that? But no, it's actually we're still using the Telltale tool, the same tool set that was used to make the original Sam & Max games, but we're able to benefit from over a decade of evolution and tech investment. So the underlying data started off the same as the original game, and it's using the same engine, but all of the rendering, animation, sound, even just like game performance, all those things are just so much better than they were right out of the box. And then we took all those tools and got to apply them to our own old game from over a decade ago, which has been awesome and exhilarating and exhausting.
Yeah, we also did updates to the engine ourselves. So
Yeah,
we
started with the Walking Dead 4 engine, and it's now no longer the Telltale tool; it's the Skunkape.
Yeah,
tool.
our version has branched further. Yeah, we've done stuff for like John said, the sort of custom sort of colored outlines and some of the color grading and stuff. Look at that! It's flint paper. You want to talk about
flint? Big that hole is.
Look, that hole in the wall is so big. The original release of this game, we wanted to get Flint Paper in. He's like a fan favorite character from the original Sam & Max comics, and he has a tiny cameo in Sam & Max Hit the Road. But in this episode, in the original release, there was just a tiny hole in the wall where you could basically only see his face. And we decided, why not put a huge hole in the wall and show his whole office?
Crazy.
Yeah, and then actually Eric Parsons, who did a lot of sort of choreography and cinematography on the game, said, "Well, if we put a hole in the wall, maybe we can shoot the office through it." So then we ended up reframing Sam & Max's office with this really cool foreground look. That plus the time of day change to sunset were 2 things that we did to try and really make your first impression of the remaster be, oh, it's new, it's different. It's not just exactly what you saw in Season 1. It's not even what you saw in the Season 1 remaster. We wanted it to have its own feeling.
Adding Flint was one of those things that was a great idea when we wanted to do it originally, but could never do it right, and it took us 14 years to finally get it right.
Yeah,
and do all the things we needed to do to make it work.
Yeah, now you can actually see him beating up some goons.
He doesn't want to help beat up a robot. He's beating up his own guys.
Yeah.
John, I know you also worked with Steve Purcell, the creator of Sam & Max, on like tweaking Flint's look to be a little more like he looks in the comics.
Yeah, Steve did some paint overs for me, and I tried to push his character a little bit more towards um, Steve's style of drawing him, but still trying to retain some of the Telltale feel, particularly with his like bulging out eyes.
His weird, his bug eyes. Yeah.
He's a weird looking dude. Oh no, Sybil's.
It's Sybil's store. It's fine though. Yeah, I think also if you know the whole story arc of season 2, you know that, just to keep talking about Flint paper, I guess we'll talk about Flint only. His involvement in the story goes up and up and up, and he actually ends up being a major player in the season. But I think his presence in 201 was like, maybe had we known at the time how much he would be in the season, he would have gotten a little more of his due in the original release. So we did it in the remaster. Let's talk to this Mametron.
He is got this existential struggle because his love for 80s music is kind of describes his existence. I don't know which came first.
I don't know. I think this guy is written by Chuck Jordan.
I think so too. Yeah.
And I don't know the entire inspiration for the Mametron other than Chuck really likes writing machines with very strange personalities, because episode 4 also has a ship's computer that's kind of like the ship's computer from Star Trek, but you just slowly turn it into a jerk or into like a seductive, smooth talking AI. Let's see. Yeah, in this puzzle, you've got to try and befuddle this robot so it'll stop smashing your building apart. And I guess the way to his heart or to his brain is through pop culture, because for whatever, is it ever explained why he's like this, or is this just how this guy works?
It's more like the puzzle solver needs to figure out that that's his thing.
Yeah, I don't even remember what this guy loves, other than
why is he programmed that way.
Yeah, other than it seems like the robot that would come and destroy Sam and Max's office is the one that has this weird inexplicable quirk that makes no sense. Like, of course they get the robot that loves weird old pop music.
But that references to music are like all over the place. There's stuff going way back.
Yep.
And stuff that was new at the time too. I love it.
Now there are no new references.
No. But this, I was playing some of this yesterday. My wife was watching, and in the opening, I think it's in the opening, he says something about a Fox newscaster. I'm like, well, yeah, some of these jokes, most of them still stand up.
Yeah, I feel like there's a reference to Barack Obama in this episode, I think, but it's from before he was president. So these are definitely remasters of games from the mid 2000s.
And artist dating herself.
Oh boy!
He's turned around. What could that
Stinky
mean?
Spice.
Stinky Spice. That's the Sam and Max perfect gag.
Yeah, let's see. I've distracted the robot.
Before you get into solving what might be the solution to the puzzle, I think it's interesting that the office is so populated with things from season 1 that our way of recouping the season 1 or retelling the season 1 story is all in the world in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
I think this office.
In season 1, the stuff that changed was only what they piled into the closet. So these are sort of all their evidence from season 1. And then in season 2, like you said, Dan, there's the Whack the Rats and the singing bear head as and there's a bunch of stuff from the casino, it seems like, and some stuff from the White House, and the rug. But then over the course of season 2, Sam and Max's office itself ends up becoming the sort of repository of all of their stuff, and it ends up, by the end of the season, their office is just like, it looks like a storage wars, basically. Like it's just like it's a horrible junk locker.
Sam and Max hoarders.
Yeah. Oh, Leonard.
Oh, Leonard.
He'll be okay, probably.
Pretty sure he dies.
It was
John.
The 2000s.
No.
It was the early 2000s.
Leonard is fine. He's okay. He's at the farm now.
Yeah.
And another one bites, and another one bites, and another one bites.
Rip.
Yep, that poor guy. It's a good introduction puzzle to point-and-click adventure games, though, where you have to solve a slightly overly elaborate dialogue puzzle just to get a person to turn around. I think that feels right.
Yeah, I like that the wind up thing is right at the second floor window too, so it's kind of hard to miss it. You got to run back up to the office.
Yeah, I guess the Mametron's technically taller than he was in season 1. Now he wasn't standing
He's
up
just
before.
closer to the window.
It was just his head walking by before.
He's crouching before.
Yeah, and John, I know that you also worked on the Mametron in that this is actually him with his like season 3 visual upgrades.
Oh yeah,
because
I tried to make some updates to characters in season 2 based on some of the things we did in season 3, so we get some more parity between the two.
Yeah, and season 3 also kind of did its own remastering pass on a lot of the old assets, so it was we just brought some of those right back in as the starting point.
Yeah, like Satan is a good example of that, where I just grabbed the season 3 Satan because he had a few things that were better about his model and his textures than season 2.
Yep. Here's
out of context. That's a really good.
Just bring all Satan back in.
Santa, Satan, easily confused.
Yeah, this is basically the same opening credit sequence and the same music and stuff as in the original release, but I did go back and clean it up. You can shoot in more places. Sam and Max have a little more animation. It was surprisingly hard to update this because when I first built it, it was maybe the first thing that I had ever put in to the game on my own, and I didn't do a very good job of it. Like, so I got to come back a decade later and look at the first work I ever made, and it was sad because I know I did the opening credits on the first season as well. But John, I think you did all of the setup for me, and
maybe
I just kind of had to move a camera around and yeah. But it was like a kid playing a video game that still said insert coin, and I was like, I'm making a video game. I definitely was not. It's the soda poppers.
Yeah.
No, we're not allowed.
We love the soda poppers.
We love the soda poppers. We're not allowed to just repeat the meme. The soda poppers are great.
Look at those hats.
Look how fancy this looks.
Oh yeah, we talked.
We missed that opening bit when we were driving up.
All the opening stuff. Yeah, in the remaster of the season, we went back and we put a lot of work, especially into the first episode, because I think the writing and even just the art and the story and design of this episode is great, but I think that the mood that it was trying to convey, I don't think we ever quite got all the way there, where Sam and Max are going to the North Pole, and it's the feeling is that Santa has become this kind of isolationist, just kind of maniac who's holed himself up in his office and has turned the North Pole into this compound that everyone is scared to go to. And we put more work into that. We added the
snow.
Well, yes, we added
snow.
Particles. It's darker and creepier. It's got that sort of ominous
lighting.
snow. It's got the barbed wire fencing, the spotlight that follows the characters around now. I know Jared Emerson Johnson, the composer, wrote the music for this exterior track, and it's always been this sort of dark, ominous, creepy track that feels like whatever's inside Santa's workshop has got to be messed up, like something is wrong here. But the art was always kind of just brightly lit in blue and not creepy.
It looked like Santa's village.
yeah. It had the feeling still, even though I know the intent was always to make it a little creepy. It kind of did have the feeling of like a miniature that would be like on a table at your grandma's house.
Yeah.
But now it's like the spooky version
of that. I always like that joke. All right, stop talking to these fools.
Okay.
So just real quick, Jake, you mentioned music on this, music that was done for this originally, but I know on this season there's a lot of new music from Jared too.
Yeah, they're actually
going to see any, but
right at the beginning when the robot attacks, there's a new track there that's a little more action packed. Jared did a new sort of more high energy jazz variant of the robot track. Partly just because I think we didn't want the original version of that scene was set to basically the exact same music as the opening credits, and we didn't want those two things running back to back, which again happened at the beginning of episode 2 and happened at the end of episode 4 and happened at the end of episode 5, and it was like that one track I think was our like, oh, we need something kind of actiony here. Oh, we'll just use the opening credits on loop.
Over and over again.
So Jared went and he's done a bunch more sort of action and suspense music across the season, which is awesome. And he did a new street theme, which I don't think we'll hear in this playthrough, but I love it. It's kind of just classic Sam and Max walking around music that plays when you're out on the street in a few of the episodes. This is more just trying to add a little bit of a feeling of ominous wrongness to Santa's workshop through this extended opening cutscene.
There's another scene that we changed a lot in terms of set dressing. The murals on the walls, we added some waffles. Because why not?
We got the two essentials, murals and waffles.
Yeah, hot chocolates and whipped cream.
Yeah,
we extended the ceiling in here, so it's a whole second floor, which you can see from a little bit from the nav cam if you pull back.
Yeah. I think we wanted the feeling both of it being a little more sort of cozy and worn in, like you would expect Santa's Workshop to be, but then also partly because the scene always was big but didn't have quite enough detail for it, and partly just because if it is this cavernous space, having it lit where there's some light, around the floor, and then it just creeps up into darkness, we thought it would, again, be one more thing that...
Yeah, we wanted to make it look more full, which is one of the reasons why we added the waffles.
Whatever you want to make a video game scene seem more full, you just put like
waffles.
Put like some waffle bars in the background. Yeah, that's a sort of known trick.
It's classic. Yeah.
This is when this first went
in. Your favorite joke.
I love it, and I think the reason that I loved it at the time was because it was at least at the time pretty rare that we would do a pure sight gag in a Telltale game. A lot of stuff had to be dialogue driven because there wasn't a lot of animation budget just for like a goof, and the fact that it is a total visual gag was a delight to me when I first saw it. I still love it. I click on the North Pole multiple times when I play just to make Sam and Max stick their guns to it.
It was so popular that people wanted it in the other episodes too.
Yeah, I know. On the team, people were like, "I just love that happening." So yeah, you can magnetize your gun to the North Pole in the office when it goes there in later episodes. We're trying to talk. Look at this horrible, creepy elf.
He's less creepy than he used to be in terms of facial structure. He's still bizarre.
His teeth are less black.
He's more, I think, deliberately creepy than accidentally creepy.
Yeah. I wanted his head to look more like a balloon, or kind of like Charlie Brown's big, round, weird head.
Yeah. Success.
Go back. They're so much less blocky now.
Yeah.
And you can't really tell until you look at them side by side, but huge difference.
I just remember the smallest detail of this room, which is that we added doors.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yes.
We added snow with doors.
And broke everything.
Yeah, the doors were tough because then characters had to open and close the doors all the time, but we wanted it to feel a little more like it was an actual factory workroom, and it seemed like having hinged double doors.
I didn't know you put those doors in at first, and I was like playing through the game, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? They keep walking through those doors.
The characters just keep like, just like walking straight through them.
What happened?
In fact, that's about the only thing we can fix. If you want to make me cry,
I love trying to make this guy cry. It's another one of the puzzles that the writers love doing in the first 2 of these seasons, where you can control whether you're playing as Sam or Max to basically just insult and mess with characters. It feels like it comes up a few times a season, or whenever this comes up, it's like, well, your job is just to...
Yeah, it's always torture.
It's just it's just to annoy the heck out of someone.
Don't kill his dog. He's gonna go John Wick on you.
I already killed... Nope, it's too bad. Dog's dead.
Had we gotten that version of the interface in to explain what was going on there, I bet we would have used that a lot more in the game back in the day. That's another thing that took us like 15 years to get right.
I did the first version, and I was I was really proud of it at the time. But yeah, there were just these 2 little tiny tabs with black and white silhouettes of their faces on them, and this is a lot nicer. Turns out.
I think it was just one of those things that there was never enough time
Yeah,
to put them in.
right, to get it to sing.
It's also
Yeah.
there are sometimes you don't know how something is going to work until it works, and then by the time
Yeah.
it works, you have to ship the game and it's done, and then
Right,
you're stuck
you're
with
done.
it. Whereas this, you can go back and say, well, how did those puzzles actually play, and what was the sort of man?
For sure.
Sorry, that orphanage thing I really enjoy, but. Yeah, you can go back with the benefit of hindsight of like how you want that to feel when you're swapping between Sam and Max, and when you're what the cadence of these dialogue puzzles actually is, and then redo the interface to support it. I like this really unflappable elf. I give up.
I give up.
You're right. This is hopeless. I should just lie down and cry.
Then why don't you?
Because I'm too happy. Haven't you been?
That was frustrating.
Hmm?
Maybe you should go take out your frustrations on something.
Sure.
Hint, hint.
Yeah, this Bop Buddy, previously not punchable, which is, in my opinion, a crime to have a stress toy in a video game that the player can't punch and get a satisfying reaction out of. But now
Do
you can
it again.
Okay, thank you. There you go, John.
Do it again. Keep doing it.
Okay, it's fine.
This is John's favorite part of the entire season.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, he's based.
That was my favorite part of the Telltale office. Was
Yeah.
when we had one of those guys.
we did have a Bop Buddy in the office next to like the old plastic hockey equipment, and you could just walk by and punch him. He was frequently punched
Until he died a slow death.
Until he died a slow death. Until he deflated.
Well, John said he was taken out with a flying karate kick by someone.
Yeah, he was. And then I've ordered another one. I got a second one. I don't remember what happened to the second one though.
Probably got bit.
Just chomped.
You say that like you did it.
Someone.
I
I
can't.
bet it
I
was
cannot
strong bad.
deny. I will not deny biting. Yeah, right.
Grandma's happy
No,
pills.
I have Grandma's happy pills.
The bottom line
What are in
is
those?
girls don't ask Grandma a lot of questions about her
People are asking Grandma a lot of questions about her pills. But yeah, I'm starting to play this game a little out of order in that I'm now trying to give gifts to people, but I haven't met anyone yet, so I don't even know who to give them to.
You only have your
I just noticed that the reflection in Sam's nose blinks along with the Christmas lights. That's really
You just noticed that?
yeah. I don't know. A lot of details in this video game. Well, let's go visit Santa Claus.
Hi, we're collecting guns for tots.
His red Ritter gun.
There he is. Yeah, that's right. Legally distinct, original creation. I think we should probably wrap it up. Obviously, if you're playing the game for real, you would start investigating what's going on here and figure out the mystery of what's happened to Santa Claus. But instead, I'm probably just going to punch the Bop Buddy a few more times and
And call it a day.
call it a day. Yeah. So thanks everyone for watching this much. All right. Well,
That was fun.
yeah, that's a look at Sam and Max. What is this? Beyond Time and Space,
Beyond
episode
Time and
1,
Space.
Ice Station Santa, which is coming December 8th to Switch, Xbox, and PC. Cool. You can learn more at skunkapegames.com. Thanks very much for watching.
Thank you.